Hello, everybody. Welcome to Government Secrets episode, I want to say 14. And I know I didn't check to see what I doubt Lee did either. We're going to bring Leon in a second. It is Friday, October 30th, 2020. We are streaming live. Hit the like button on my YouTube and also on the Rockfin. And of course, this also gets released as an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify. So if you're listening on one of those platforms, please hit the, give it a good review and all that business. That helps all of the analytics of our show. And then, of course, hello, Anthony, Backyard Politics, Sandra, Dr. Hellcat, Rutherford, David, Ricky. We'll bring the vegan cartel. The vegan cartel's here. That's bad. And of course, people are watching on Facebook as well. All right. And let me bring up this stuff for one of my government secrets. Yeah. So all this stuff for okay. Bring that up. What's up, Nace Garden? Great way to support the show is do what Nace Garden is doing. He just hit the dollar icon button at the bottom of YouTube. If you're watching on one of the other platforms, you'll have to come over to youtube.com/Graham Elwood to do that. So happy to see you live. I am multicasting you guys and enjoying my favorite finger food, cannabis. Outstanding. Outstanding, Nace Garden. I've been on Nace Garden. Check out my episodes. Some of the other friends of the show have been on there. Ron, Stephanie, all those fine peeps. Right on. All right. So if anyone wants to do any super chats, I will get to those after Lee and I do Government Secrets. And of course, Government Secrets will be released on Lee's YouTube the full hour. It's roughly an hour on his YouTube, on my YouTube, and then the full hour is also available as an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Oh, we just lost Lee. What happened? Hello, everybody watching on the Facebook. Okay, Lee's back, looks like. Here we go. Let's see if Lee is up and running. Yo, Lee Camp is here.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
All right. How are you, man?
Welcome. I think it is Government Secrets episode 14. Lee Camp and Graham Elwood here.
Absolutely it is. I'm trying confidence this week. That's my new thing.
just confidently saying anything. Hey,
oh my God. It is so episode 14.
Yep. Done. I like those guys that are just like, yep, book it. Yep, that's absolutely correct. And they're just, and usually like if those are the people you're working with on some type of project, that's like almost assuredly the guy that's just going to flake and bail and not get anything done. Right?
Oh yeah. Or just make horrible decisions, but be like, yep, stamp it, signed, sealed, delivered. Yeah.
Punch it, done deal. Yeah, but you said you're going to get that done by Friday. Friday didn't hold, so we're pushing it to next year. Book it. What are you talking about?
Friday didn't hold.
Just, what are you talking about? What are you saying it didn't hold? What does that mean? Just they all have like those quick, short terms. Punch it.
Absolutely. I mean, you just defined the entirety of Donald Trump. You know, it's all positive. It's all positive thinking, quote unquote, positive thinking, which means positive for whatever he wants. And short sentences, 3-word sentences. Yep, done. Beautiful, wonderful, best ever, perfect.
It's Dale Carnegie through the prism of a sociopath, narcissist, just like
which Dale Carnegie was. So.
Yeah. Just that's what Trump does. Everybody, when he'll put in "everybody knows this" on one of his statements. That's my favorite.
Okay. Everybody said I killed coronavirus. It's gone. It's I perfect. Big league.
Everybody knows this. Like it's just that is such the like narcissist. It's also like a high school thing, you know. Like everybody knows that you're wrong and you're on my side. Everyone's on my side. Like they're just like they need the whole lunchroom to be on their side to push whatever nonsense. And it's like,
well, that would make sense. I mean, Trump stopped advancing like both emotionally, intellectually, and everything else in about, beginning of high school. So,
right. Which is probably when he started doing Coke and Adderall.
Yeah. Well, because he always wanted to be like the sober guy who's like, oh, you guys do that stuff. He was just snorting Adderall into the bleachers. He's like, I don't drink. Drinking, it killed my brother, and it was sad. He was pathetic. He was a loser. Hold on a second.
Adderall makes me make good business decisions. Yeah. Book done. Everybody knows this. Trump does sound like the kind of guy that's like coked up at a party trying to get you into some business deal. You know what I mean? Just like, or he does Adderall, just something just like, yeah, that's right. Let's build a wall. You want to fucking join Space Force? Let's do Space Force. You want Space Force? We're going to buy Iceland. You in? We're buying Iceland.
We're buying Iceland. We're nuclear bombing that hurricane. That hurricane's done. It's a loser. That's a loser hurricane because we nuclear bombed it.
You build the wall? I'm building it 20 feet higher. Done. Book it.
Book it. Book the wall. Book it for something. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Oh my God. Trying to being Trump's like assistant who's got to jot down all his crazy ideas, just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
just how many 3 a.m. insane phone calls has Trump's assistants had to get over the years?
How many? Hey, what? It's 3:05. That's fine. How many times have we bombed hurricanes? We've never bombed a hurricane. Well, what about the last one? We killed it, right? Killed a hurricane? But bomb this one. Bomb this one twice. I don't know what's happening.
All right, socks that don't have toes because the toes are out making deals on the stock market. Book it. Hangs up. What am I supposed to do with that? What am I?
Well, and the sad thing is he got into that shit before there was like good Adderall. I think before Adderall was a thing. So he was just snorting diet pills. It was just like the fucking weird Chinese diet pills that would get you hopped up on those. That's all he had. He was doing booty bumps of diet pills back in the early 80s.
Weird Chinese diet pills. Actually, I saw them at Bonnaroo, I want to say, and oh my God, they were amazing. It's the best EDM show I've ever seen is weird Chinese diet pills. Just shuffle dancers on stage.
Well, that's the tune he hears in his head. Everything he does. That's the backbeat.
Yeah, when he's like, everybody knows this. I was the best for the black community ever.
Well, I mean, he is his own hype man. Basically, in his brain, he has 5 guys behind him going, yeah, boy! Oh, nailed it! Best ever!
That's why all he's done for 4 years is go to have. I mean, he was having rallies after he became president because it's like you won. You don't need to campaign anymore because he just needs that. Like, that's right.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was some of the most bizarre shit. Where it's like, you've been in office 1 year. You spent most of it golfing. Maybe doing a rally for what is? Why don't you do some fucking work?
Why don't you? Remember when his schedule came out after he'd been president like 9 months or a year, and it was just like all these massive blocks of like presidential
private time, right?
Private time.
Yeah, it just said like private time, just endless. And he was like, most of the presidents get up. Granted, they're doing it to destroy the world, but most presidents get up at like 6 a.m. to do their destroy the world work. And Trump would get up at 3 and tweet. And then use from like 6 a.m. to like noon for private time. Like,
just Chinese diet pill time. That's what that was. That was just Chinese diet pill time. Oh, well, looks like Jimmy Dore is watching our show today. That's outstanding. Thanks, Jimmy, for tuning in today.
Hey, Jimmy.
What's up, buddy?
All right.
So, all right.
I think we've hit it big. We got Jimmy as a viewer.
Jimmy's watching. This government secrets is going to be huge now.
What does that mean? I don't know if it's the same people I've met, or does that mean the guy that runs his webpage is tuned in?
Yeah, if it was Jimmy, then the super chat would have some sort of sarcastic remark or talk about his Chinese diet pills that he does, or something like that. All right, so let's get into it. Government Secrets, episode 14.
Chinese techno episode. K-pop. This is the K-pop episode.
Oh God!
All right. So I think we should spend at least the opening segment, if not two, just talking about what the fuck we think will happen Tuesday. Because I in my brain that is a government secret as to what will go down.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, there's like 500 potential outcome scenarios, right? Like, and everyone's got all these. And every time some reasonable person that I like or respect says, well, this could happen, or they could be doing this, I always go, yeah, it might be. Yeah. Anything's possible. So what are your Chinese diet pill predictions for Tuesday?
I think anthrax has been dusted on every touchscreen machine, and we're all dead.
I'm excited for an Anthrax reboot. Anthrax reboot.
Remix, yeah.
Remix.
You get both the toxin and the band in the same envelope. It's a vinyl they send out. So I did a live stream today where I talked about how, and this gets into the kind of government secret portion of it, which is our country is uniquely suited to create the brand of chaos that may happen on Tuesday.
Oh.
And for a multitude of reasons, but one of them is that, and there's a lot to explain, so I'm going to try and make it pretty succinct here, but our media is talking about how, like, there's a flood of mail-in voting, more than we've ever seen. Over 60, it's like 70% of the people who voted, of the number of people who voted last time, have already voted, have already sent in ballots. Like, it is crazy more voting than they're used to, meaning certain states are not going to be able to count this shit on the day of, and it's going to take several days. Now, if certain states announce their outcome on the day of, on Tuesday, then you could still kind of know that Biden is winning or whatever. Like if Biden were to win Florida, if they were to announce that on Tuesday, then the odds of Trump winning apparently are like less than 1% if he loses Florida. So something like that could happen. But exempting something like that, it will be some degree of confusion and chaos. Trump will announce he's won, no matter what the reality is. Trump will announce he's won unless it is a clear landslide against him. And even then he might announce he's won. But
everybody knows this.
Everybody knows I won. And the reason that's even possible is because you have pre-election, you have two kinds of crucial polling, pre-election polls and exit polls. In pre-election polls, because they've been off so much, so many years in a row in swing states, these polls are fucking off. And they're off not because the pollsters are bad, but because a crazy number of people have been purged from the voter rolls. So they think they're going to vote. So they're called by a pollster and they say, absolutely, I'm voting. And then they are unable to vote. And some of them don't even know they didn't vote because they're given a provisional ballot. So they think they voted and they did not vote. And that happens a lot too. Greg Palast is estimating that 16 million people have been purged going into this election. Millions upon millions of people, especially in swing states. And so those polls will be off by a lot, especially in swing states. And normally you could use those pre-election polls to point to and say, look, we know this election is not legit because look at these polls. But instead, we have been shown that they're wrong again and again and again because these people think they're voting and they're not allowed to vote because capitalism has a democracy problem. Therefore, it needs to suppress democracy. And so people of color mainly, and young people, but mostly people of color, are purged from the rolls. Then you have the exit polls. But I'll pause there and we can get to the exit polls in a minute.
Well, yeah, I mean, this goes back actually to the Joe Mentum scam of the Democratic primary, because it was the exit polls that showed Bernie with double-digit wins in all of these districts that Biden somehow won. Yeah. And of course, wacky coincidence, they were mainly in voting precincts that used a touchscreen. So no conspiracy there. That's good. Just don't ask any more questions on that one.
And same with 2016.
Yeah, and same with 2016. So that's the thing too, is the exit poll is far more accurate. I can't even watch the regular polls. Now, some of them are showing like in states that Hillary thought she was going to get 4 years ago and ended up losing, Biden has a bigger lead.
Yeah, Biden, yeah. But yeah, the stuff the mainstream media is giving us, which I think is accurate, is that Biden has a far more stable lead in these pre-election polls. They're not swinging wildly back and forth, and his lead in swing states is greater. But
so yeah, I mean, there's that thing. I think, like you say, I think Trump is going to declare victory no matter what. I don't know. I mean, unless he's so tired of he's like lazy. He's like, I don't want to be president anymore. I just want to run my own kingdom somewhere on Mar-a-Lago. He might just go, yeah, I guess I lost. I don't know.
Yeah, but the two things that I think stop him from that is, one, unlike most previous presidents, there is a slight risk that they could come after him legally for various crimes. Never the real crimes, never like war crimes, because that kind of shit they love doing. So they might come after him for some bullshit, like they tried to impeach him for the Ukraine shit, which is standard presidential corruption. Same shit Biden did as vice president. So that might make him fight to the death. But and then the psychology, he clearly is he's a pathological liar. He's a sociopath. And he has quite a pathology around losing. So to be the loser is, right. A fate worse than death for him. And then the final thing is that he does have hundreds of millions of whatever the technical terminology for pushback loans that have been delayed, that are due, hundreds of millions of dollars that he does not have at all. And he is basically broke. And those are coming due, and he thinks the only way to keep avoiding those is to be president.
Wow. Now that is a government secret, Lee Camp, I did not know. Of course, yeah. He's like anybody who's like, I'm the best, I'm number one. It's like a guy that gambles a lot, and those guys only tell you when they win. You know what I mean? Right. They're like, called it. I picked it. I had the Niners and the points or whatever. They never talk about all the money they've lost. And those guys that talk that big, they always have some like debt up to their eyeballs, or there's a court case looming that they're hiding from or something like that. Those guys are always have some shady shit behind them. Well, here's my thinking on this, on what potentially could happen Tuesday. And it's something when I had Whitney Webb on the show about a month ago, is that all these powerful people, like real deep state types, and both parties are deliberately going to put us into a hung election to spurn a civil war, so that the end game, it's not about someone winning or losing this election. The end game is martial law and just more keeping us clamped down. So,
well, but that, I don't know. I mean, that implies that they've somehow lost control of the American populace, when, yeah, there are some protests here and there, but if you really look at us, we're pretty well enslaved. I mean, we all think that our slave labor is all that matters, and as long as we're given a job, we're happy, or not happy, but we're depressed, but we're not going to riot or anything. And so, I mean, I think having a defined president and some sort of like quote unquote normality is great for them. I think they prefer that over declaring martial law, which people have a tendency to fight against. So
right, and in a country with all these guns, that would yeah. there would be.
Well, you and I were saying before we started taping that Walmart took the guns off the shelves or whatever, and so we're going to see just like a revolution of sporting goods. It's going to be mainly tetherball and hockey sticks, and
guys with lawn bowling just going at it, just hardcore.
Yeah. What was the name of the guy who teamed up with the Ninja Turtles? He had like hockey sticks and like fucking baseballs and shit.
Well, I mean, look, lacrosse was a Native American sport that actually was started as like warring tribes. That's how they'd settle disputes. So maybe we might just go back to some old school lacrosse matches where people are just pounding the crap out of each other with lacrosse sticks. I don't know. I played
folks in the comment thread. I need to find out who the guy was that teamed up with the Ninja Turtles and had the hockey sticks. This is very important. Casey Jones. Thank you, Matt. Yes, Casey Jones. I love how what the fuck was with Casey Jones? All the Ninja Turtles have these like crazy names like Raphael and Leonardo. They all have these like great Renaissance names, and then they're just like, yeah, it's fucking Rodney Casey over there, like Casey Jones. Fuck you. Give him a cool name too. What? Just because he's humanoid?
No, he doesn't get a cool name.
Yeah, cool
Casey.
name. No.
Thanks, Casey. It's just like, I mean, so I like, yeah, I feel like unless Biden just overwhelming, and I'll just to play devil's advocate on this, because I really have it's hard to predict any of this, but just watching some of these numbers, like you said, there's been over 77 million. That was as of yesterday, probably more upwards of 80 million. So like you said, we've already had 60% or more of the total votes from 2016 have already shown up via mail, right?
Yeah.
So and what they're doing, and they're obviously like critical states like Wisconsin, they've tried to clamp down. And so Wisconsin, I believe, unless this has changed, has said any ballots received after November don't count. Whereas like
that was the Supreme Court decision, I think.
Okay.
That it went to Supreme Court, and Trump's newly far right-wing Supreme Court quickly said, oh yeah, shut off the voting.
Yeah. So thank you, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, for not stepping down during Obama when she was asked. And thank you to Obama for not forcing somebody in when he could have. So
I know. Meanwhile, who was the judge that Trump forced out when he first got into office? The guy's like 60 years old. He's like, you're feeling old, aren't you? Your hips are bad, right? You better step down. Yeah, I got this guy Kavanaugh. He's young. He's agile. He's spry. You're feeling bad. Oh, is that a cough? Yeah, you're going to die soon. You're definitely going to die. You better step down.
How many fingers am I holding up? Bad vision. Yep, hooked it. Get out.
Meanwhile, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like an arm falls off, and she's like, I'm still alive. Like she was pulling the fucking God damn it, the Mike Myers movie, Austin Powers, where he's like, I'm not dead yet. She was pulling the I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, so I think so you've got these factors, and then I've watched some stuff of like a lot of, since the Democratic Party, starting with, I mean, clearly with the nomination of Joe Biden and the stealing it basically from Bernie, who was beating everybody, and then Bernie just quit. But the Democratic convention where they had all these Republicans speak, and in the debates where they're like, I'm not going to ban fracking. No, we're not going to do that Green New Deal. Hell no, we're not going to have Medicare for all. It was clearly, I was like,
fighting over who's more right wing.
Yeah, exactly. It was a Republican debate. And the Democratic Party clearly has gone after these sort of like suburban Republicans, these sort of Mitt Romney, Reagan Republicans, whatever you want to call them. And I was watching a thing today on Sky News, which is an English channel. Now they're very corporate. I think it's Rupert Murdoch who probably owns them or whatever.
Yeah, but Sky News is Rupert Murdoch.
Right. So they were interviewing all of these like basically suburban white women who are like doubling down on Biden, many of whom voted for Trump 4 years ago. many of whom, again, now this is the corporate media for sure, but I wonder, and you have to take that into account in the sense of like, that if the deep state, the oligarchs are, since they're controlling all of this, they're going to try to feed a narrative that supports Biden overwhelmingly winning, because maybe they think Trump did some of our bidding, but he's a little bad for business, and
yeah, he's a bad CEO for America Inc. He makes us look bad. We can go along with systemic racism and obliterate other nations quietly, but Trump really throws it in your face.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not fixing any of those. And his supporters are like, well, that's because he's going to fix it. No, he's not.
He just hadn't gotten around it. Just let him finish his golf game. He's going to get to it next week. Next week.
I heard somebody said to me on social media, but Graham, he hasn't started any new wars. Oh, that's how low the bar is. He's still bombing 7 countries, but he hasn't started any new ones. So that
the military under Trump dropped more bombs than Obama the first year. I think the numbers, I think they haven't revealed the numbers since his first year, but in Trump's first year, they dropped over 40,000 munitions, and in Obama's final year, it was 30-some thousand. So he is bombing more than Obama.
So, and of course, thanks to the Democratic Congress, he keeps getting more money for his military budget. So it's really fantastic. So the fact that he's this peacenik is laughable. So I wondered, are all the early voting and the mail-in voting probably favors Trump, or excuse me, favors Biden?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And this suburban white women showing up en masse for Biden, and the big people showing up for Biden, not that Biden isn't inspiring anybody. It's just this massive no on Trump.
Biden's enthusiasm. People are voting Biden, but they're not enthusiastic about it. So I saw the other day that poll, Biden's enthusiasm is like 9%, which is just lower than the enthusiasm for stubbing your dick on a table. So
I get a little excited about that, depending on the kind of table. It depends on the table.
So you're in the 8%, is what you're saying.
Yes. Every once in a while, it's like, oh, well, all right, that was
oh, okay. Not as best as I thought.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'm checking in the yes box on that one.
But I mean, he has no enthusiasm, but people are I'd say 50% of all Biden votes are just against Trump. It's just stop this fucking chaos, which, there's a certain amount of the chaos that will be stopped, meaning kind of the outward show of how awful things are will be stopped because you won't have an idiot tweeting about it all day long. So if you're voting for the president to stop tweeting, then you will vote for Biden because you will succeed.
If you want a more presidential Twitter feed, then Biden is your man. And that'll help you go back to sleep for the bombing and the sanctioning and the putting kids in cages and everything else. So, all right, let's talk.
Well, we have to save time for exit polling though.
Yeah. Okay. But all right. So let's talk about that then. So next week, I mean, do you see like a clear winner come Tuesday night?
Only if one of these states that counts more of their vote, counts a lot of their mail-in votes before the election. Be like apparently Pennsylvania. So I haven't actually looked up which states are which, but I did hear that Florida counts a lot of theirs beforehand. So you may know Florida Tuesday night. Pennsylvania apparently does not begin counting their mail-in votes until it's either polls close or until Tuesday or something. So the odds of knowing something about Pennsylvania, I think, are pretty slim. But if you know, so I only think there will be a clear, wow, Biden's run away with it kind of information rush if we know one of these states, like Florida, has gone for Biden that everyone thought was not going to go for Biden, and if you get there, then the odds of Trump running are so slim. I mean, winning are so slim that you could have a kind of known winner that night. Right. Outside of that, I think you have a lot of chaos because Trump will declare victory Tuesday night.
Right. And then when that happens, then all hell breaks loose. So yeah, I agree. Unless there's like these clear, like Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania are like all our mail-in ballots were overwhelmingly for Biden. Trump doesn't even have a chance. Like they just say, we've counted them. And the people people voting today, there's not enough votes left to
right. Right. And here's where exit polling plays in, because if we had a legit election system, if we weren't a banana republic, then like a lot of countries, we would have legit exit polls that people trusted. And the exit polls were almost always within 2 to 4%, but really closer to 2% different from the actual results. So that it's so close that you're like, well, the exit polls reveal basically the result within 2 points. And in most countries, you could look to that and you could say, well, we know basically what happened. We know basically who won. And that actually is what happened initially in Bolivia. Initially in Bolivia, this 2 weeks ago, when they voted out their US-backed coup, the exit polls showed that the Evo Morales' MAS party was winning 52% of the vote. And so it was like they were just destroying the competition. So they knew those exit polls were just, it was too far to be stolen. Like even if the coup government had changed the results 100%, everyone would just look at the exit polls and said, you're full of shit. Whereas we, because our exit polls are wrong a lot of the time, and they're wrong because of machine rigging, because of voter purging, all these reasons, our exit polls are only run by one fucking company. Edison Research is the only fucking company, and they outwardly say, they said it once, the CEO said it once, and they've never said it again because they realized what a shit show it was. They announced that they take the exit polls and they align them with the machine results, meaning they take the thing that is supposed to prove whether the machines were right, and they change it to fit the machines, which is the opposite of an exit poll. So we don't have really legit exit polls, and CNN and all those they've stopped even announcing the full exit poll results. They'll announce 62% of people said they're voting because of healthcare. Like they'll say things like that. In the exit polls, they won't announce the full exit poll result because they know that we're fucking watching and we're flipping the fuck out.
Yeah, so it's going to come down to which states are either have already started counting the mail-in ballots or at least start them like Tuesday morning when the polls open is when they start counting them. And their goal is like, well, we're going to count these and have a reasonable count by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And therefore we can say, look, we've already counted, 60, 75, 70% of the mail-in ballots, and already there's this percentage win for either person. So, and because like California, for example, you can mail in, and as long as it's postmarked November 3rd, they will continue to count them until every ballot is counted, which is what it should be. But not every state does that. Some states are like, if we don't get it by the 3rd, it doesn't count. So,
right, yeah, and here's the other tricky thing is like in the primary, California will continue to count like provisional ballots and shit like that. They'll count it for weeks. And with Bernie Sanders versus Hillary, they didn't announce the final winner until weeks later. But the problem is that, well, part of the problem is they know that no one's paying attention weeks later. So whatever is the projected winner by CNN or AP or whatever, that's what counts. So they projected Hillary the winner on the night of the primary, and by the time all the votes were in, which, you know, they who knows what actually went down in the count, but, you know, later they announced that Hillary won by a much smaller portion than they thought, but she still won. And so it's like provisional ballots are designed to do two things. You know, one is to make people think they voted. So that, you know, Greg Palast named them placebo ballots. They're a oh yeah, you voted, yeah, just go on about your way. Oh, we'll handle it from here. Yeah, it's great. So they're placebo ballots. But then even if they are counted, they're counted weeks later. People aren't paying attention. So it serves two purposes in that way.
So yeah, I think it's a slim chance we have an answer, a real answer Tuesday night.
But so that's the next question though, is if we don't have a real answer Tuesday night, what do you see happening?
Well, like you said, Trump is going to say, I'm the one, everybody knows this. I'm the exalted leader of all of time and space. It's Planet Trump now. And then people are going to go nuts. And I think his supporters are going to go out in the streets and go nuts. And then some people are going to go, no, we've had enough. And I think there's going to be more violence in the streets. And I think there could be 2 or 3 days of just rioting and looting until there's any kind of decision made.
Okay, but so obviously that's, you know, a horrifying scenario. But beyond just that, that doesn't actually tell us, although it'll be tough to take your eyes off all that shit, that doesn't actually tell us what will happen with the power structure in America. Let's remember that at the end of the day, these are all part of the kind of ruling elite corporatocracy. They don't like Trump because he's kind of accidentally, through his megalomaniacal man-child behavior, revealed kind of the con game. But they also don't want mass chaos because that upends their machine of exploitation. It makes it harder to exploit us if there's fucking chaos in the streets. So what happens in terms of the you know, power vacuum in America?
That's an interesting debate. That's an interesting discussion. Is the ruling class elites, is mass hysteria and society collapsing, is that their end game of mass control? Or, as you said, and it's a reasonable question to ask, because I've asked this myself, or do they go, look, if everyone's in the street rioting, they're not working for us and buying shit. So we need them pacified into thinking that we're this democracy and, oh, your vote mattered and Biden's the new guy. And they're kind of hoping that the left goes back to sleep and goes back to brunch because they don't want them really paying attention. That was a big problem with Trump, is it made a lot of people start paying more attention.
Well, and not just the left, but you know, if there were to ever be some sort of unity between disenfranchised workers, left, right, and in the middle, they'd be super fucked.
Right, and that's what they can't have. So that's their end game, is to keep everybody divided, distracted, and afraid. So if they and they want people fighting with each other in the streets, rather than, like you say, getting together and going, oh, no, we need to just go round up the billionaires. You know, we need to get everyone in Congress and Senate out. You're done. It's over. We're burning down the Senate.
And with our sporting goods, we'll have a tennis net. We can wrap them up in.
I'm going to volleyball spike these assholes out of Congress. Yeah, so that's the question. Is like, does this it's hard to see what the bigger end game is. Just the keep us all working slaves, having 3 jobs, too busy. Because I think the shutdown, the pandemic, and then the George Floyd, those 2 weeks, I really think they went, oh no, nobody had anything to do. They all got together in the streets. That's when you saw the narrative. Then they really started. I was watching it. I was talking about it on my show. I was like, oh, they're starting to make it out like it's a race war, which. Well,
Trump, yeah, that was useful. Well, or Trump thought it was useful to him to say it's a race war.
And the media jumped on board with it. CNN and them, they, of course, Fox would, but CNN did as well, because they didn't want to talk about the fact that, yeah, I'm not trying to diminish the racism, the systemic racism in this country. It's very prevalent. It's been around for centuries, But the thing that was so unique about the George Floyd protest was it was everybody.
Well, and you'll notice that like a CNN, they'll cover certain things like that when they blow up, both because it looks bad for Trump, to say he's creating this racism, but for them to claim that, even though he didn't create racism, but also they'll cover it while it blows up, and then they'll spend a few episodes on it, and then they'll move on, and they'll act like it doesn't exist anymore, even though in the weeks following the George Floyd protests, to this day, there have been regular Black Lives Matter protests that the media doesn't cover because they don't want to continue to sustain that narrative of people standing up and marching and being furious.
Yeah, they just, and that's the thing too, is like, I remember I was talking to this guy at one of the protests, this black guy, probably in his late 40s or 50s, and he said, "This is the most white people I've ever seen at a Black Lives Matter protest in my life." He's like,
because it was on CNN.
Yeah, and also, it was like everybody was stuck at home. Everybody had to pay attention. They couldn't just look at the George Floyd footage and go, "Wow, that's awful," but I got to go back to my jobs and my kids or whatever else.
Also, it was the only thing to do. I mean, everything was canceled. So it looked like a fun hangout.
Yeah, well, that was part of it. Was like everyone's been isolated indoors. You know what? I'm going to put a mask on and go outside, and I actually together with people felt like, like this is. So I don't know, and I think they're hoping the Biden win is going to put a bunch of people back to sleep, and because for a while, I got to be honest, because I've gone back and forth for a while. I thought, well, they know the economy is going to collapse, so they want to lose, so Trump wins, so they can say, "Oh, Trump killed the American economy. He blew up the markets. It's his fault."
I don't know that. I don't think they want to lose. I think they wanted to pin it on him so he would lose.
Right.
So they were fine with kind of blowing up the economy. Well, and there's another reason behind that too. Capitalism has this boom bust cycle, and during every bust, Wall Street actually gets trillions of dollars. So the busts are actually consolidate power for the ruling elite. Rather than being a bad thing, it actually is quite good for them in general. That doesn't mean every company does well, but in general, it's they love a good giant bust where the government says we have to give $1 trillion to Wall Street. What else are we gonna do?
Yeah, and in this case, they gave $4.25 trillion, so they've made their money in the stimulus, the first CARES Act. And I'm sure they'll get more in the subsequent ones.
Who was the guy you think in Congress who said 4.26 is too much? Let's 4.25. Let's not go crazy.
I'm sure that person, male or female, they're really fighting for us. Bringing it down to 4.25 from the 2.6. That was really
fighting for the people.
The working people. That's what they're fighting for.
Okay, but sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have an answer Tuesday night, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's overwhelming and it's done. But regardless, the economic collapse is coming. Regardless of whoever is declared the winner, whether to declare Tuesday night or December or whatever, it's the economic collapse is coming, and that whoever's in the White House is going to have to deal with that. So.
But I have like buckets of zombie repellent, so I think I'm gonna be all right. Like the really good spray stuff, not that cheap stuff. The really good stuff.
Get good zombie repellent. That's what we're saying. So I don't know. I don't know that we answered any question. We just put out various scenarios for Tuesday.
I actually have even a scarier question. Okay, so. Let's say chaos happens Tuesday. Trump declares himself winner. Biden, the Democrats tend to, as with Al Gore, they tend to, after a few days of fight, just because they have the spine of an arthritic jellyfish, they tend to just back down and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, he's right, he won." But let's say that because of how toxic Trump has been to the ruling elite in terms of revealing the way the systems work accidentally, let's say that Biden doesn't cave. They count enough of the votes before the Supreme Court stops it that Biden won, and you still have Trump claiming victory because he's claiming that it's all fraud. Who does the military side with? Because in a lot of countries, it does come down to where the military is going to go. Now, I don't think the Democrats would push it to that because, like I said, this is all the business community. This is the business community fighting amongst themselves, really. So they wouldn't push it to that, but they might. It might depend who they back in not pushing it to that. Might depend on who the military is likely to go with.
Well, that scenario is the most terrifying for this reason these reasons, in my opinion. If there is, it looks like Biden won. It wasn't a landslide, but it looks like Biden won, and Trump just says, "No, I'm not leaving." All hell will break loose because there's going to be a constitutional crisis. And what will happen in my just looking at what's happened historically, some of the military will side with Trump, and then some will go, "No." I mean, that's what happened in the Soviet Union.
Yeah, but it has to be the top. I think it'll come down to the top brass. I mean, most military people, they're so indoctrinated that if the top brass goes one way, so you'd have to see a fight. You'd have to see a split between the top military brass. And I don't think you're going to see that.
Maybe. I mean, I hope you're right, because my scenario is even worse, which is some within the military go, "Oh, I'm staying with Trump, ride or die," and then someone's going to go, no, let's say all the top brass go, Biden won, transfer of power. And then some wingnut general says, "Well, I'm taking my battalion of 100,000 troops and we're going to support, and that is nuts. I mean, again, the Soviet Union, there was tanks shooting at the, some within the military were siding with the communists. Some were siding with Yeltsin, who was an alcoholic puppet put in there by the West. I mean, so you could have some scenario like that. And then Trump supporters are going to go nuts on the streets. And then anyone with a gun is going to be scared or crazy or whatever. And that's when it goes up in smoke. I mean, like during the 93 Rodney King riots in Los Angeles, there were 63 just random shootings because the police were just spread too thin. So,
well, yeah. And if people should read, if you want to hear what happens when society really breaks down, read Scott Crow's book on what happened in New Orleans Nolens after Katrina, because there's a story there that most people don't know. I mean, they know it was horrific, and they know bodies were floating down the roads, what used to be roads, but it became many of the neighborhoods that were not flooded or were not flooded for long became kind of like white supremacist militias riding up and down the roads, just either threatening to kill or occasionally killing black people just for being out on the sidewalk, and the cops basically standing back and just allowing that to happen. So it was a true kind of just lawless land that we weren't getting reporting on, both because it was too dangerous to send reporters there, but also because America didn't want to act like that could happen in America. But that's what was fucking going on there.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's going to just be region by region, neighborhood by neighborhood. If it breaks down like that, I mean, some neighborhoods are going to have, like that NFAC, that armed black militia that's like protecting in Georgia and Atlanta, black, in polling stations in primarily black neighborhoods and stuff like that. You're going to have that. Whoever's got the guns in that neighborhood is going to control that neighborhood. That's
so. What is like the most dangerous sporting good? You said crossbow. Is it crossbow, or is it like a fishing line with something really sharp on the end? Like you could fly fish at the guy.
A crossbow is an actual weapon. That's a pretty decent weapon. I mean,
so you're saying crossbow beats softball every time? You're saying every time?
Yeah. Well, it depends on how hard you throw it. You got a good arm. I mean, you know what I mean? If you got a strong arm, a baseball thrown precisely at the right part of the human head could work.
All right. I do want, for all the people freaking out right now, I do want to say we were going through, we were game planning the worst case scenario.
This is absolute worst case
ever
scenario.
happen. We're not just predicting people on the streets immediately come Tuesday morning with their fucking tetherball kits and a shotgun, but lawn darts are probably the best.
Lawn darts are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat is putting racquetball. I really great suggestions, everybody. I used to play racquetball, loved it. Fun game, great exercise.
I'm a tennis player, so I got tennis rackets. I could probably have one in each hand.
Yeah. I'm gonna be throwing surfboards at people. It's gonna be good stuff.
You're gonna be hurling green tea at people, aren't you?
I'm just gonna make pots of tea for people and just go, everybody calm down.
Listen, just calm down. Oh my God, that would be my ideal dystopian revolutionary scenario. Just cultural breakdown where people who believe in crystals are just like pegging them at your face. Just crystal defensive tactics.
Just setting up a fire of essential oils, like a
spraying people in the eye, cops in the eyes with essential oils. Ah, what is that? Peppermint? Jesus!
Lavender, bitch! Like, whoa! Oh, lavender helps me sleep. Thanks.
I have a fear of lavender, so that's.
You have a fear of lavender?
I fucking hate lavender.
How is it a fear? You just don't like it, or you're afraid of it?
Okay, maybe it's not a fear. I have a hatred of lavender.
Okay, because lavender seems like a weird thing to have a phobia about. Just like, oh,
yeah, no, not a phobia, just a hatred. It took over. Lavender's in everything. All right, it's in our fucking. It's in candles and sodas and yeah. I bought a sleep mask. I talk about this in my comedy special. I bought a sleep mask to fly on a plane. And I get on the plane, I put the sleep mask on, and it's unbeknownst to me, it's lavender scented sleep mask. So now my fucking dreams are, skipping through meadows and drag brunch, fucking drag queen brunches and shit. And so I had to like douse it in whiskey and gasoline to get my dreams back on track.
I like how skipping through a field is just a horrific nightmare for you. It's like, oh my God, my brain has been hijacked.
Well, you'll be skipping all day. Come on, you'll sprain a hammy.
What if I get a rash from all this shit in the field, or I don't know, there's a beehive? I don't know what's going on. All right, so we've talked about that enough. Let's do Government Secret's second segment on a special electoral collapse episode. All right. Well, Ghislaine Maxwell's deposition came out, and I've been.
Oh yeah, for those who I want to warn people. Or at least I want to help them understand. I requested that you do this. So this is not Graham hijacking the show with more Epstein stuff. This is my request that Graham explain 400 pages of Ghislaine Maxwell deposition
in 6 minutes. Okay, here we go.
Really, it was selfish because I woke up, I saw it had come out, and I was like, I don't want to read that. I bet Graham will read it.
Graham will read it, and you're just like, get me your notes by 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
So I still haven't gone through all of it, but I've gone through a lot. And also, by the way, if you're hit the like button, if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, give us a good review and download it and share it out. We need all those analytics help, especially on the audio side. If you're watching it on either of your YouTube channels, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to us. If you're a fan of one of us but not following the other guy, please do that.
And also, every week we get done and we think we should probably never do this again. So if you guys are enjoying this, you gotta let us know, and you gotta share it, and you gotta tell us this is something you want to keep going.
You like
because
it.
Every week I'm on the phone to Graham, and I've got my toes off the edge of the roof of the building, and he says, how about one more week?
One more week, Lee. One more week. And he's like, I think I smell lavender. And I'm like, Lee, come off the ledge. We'll do one more. I won't bring up Epstein this time unless you ask me. So yeah, Lee and I are so torn between like, yeah, do we want to do anything again, especially after Tuesday? We'll find out.
Do we want life to go on after Tuesday? Yeah.
If it's going to be Mad Max, I'm out. I'm not going to fight bands in the street. I'm out. I'm punching out. Like,
well, and I wasn't even gonna say this because I probably talk about it too much. But the amazing thing is that through all this fight and through all this chaos and through the situations that you and I just discussed could happen on Tuesday, these two motherfuckers agree on 90% of the structural like systems of our country. So it's like you're talking about a 10% difference between the two of them. And yeah,
at best, no Medicare for all from both of them. Neither one are going to ban fracking. No Green New Deal. None of them are going to. There's no free college. There's no ending the wars.
They're both deep throating Wall Street. They both love environmental collapse. They're both like.
Yeah, so even if we have a peaceful transfer of power Tuesday night and Trump gives a concession speech and let's work together, the environment's still collapsing. You know, like
I love the idea of a peaceful transfer of power between two endless war oligarchies.
Yeah, exactly. A peaceful transfer of never-ending war cycle.
Right. I'll hand off the automatic rifle from me to you.
A peaceful transfer of a fascist jackboot national police force, a peaceful transfer of a homeless problem nobody cares about who's in power.
And honestly, like it's also between the guy who created in a certain sense created, or at least doubled the size of our prison state, which is the largest in the world. So an absolute crime against humanity prison state that locks up 1 out of every 3 black men, not even mentioning the other millions of non-black people that have been locked up over the years. The guy who created it and the guy who was like, let's see what this thing can do. Let's really test this thing out. Let's really give this thing a go.
But at least if either one of these guys become president, the people that are a heartbeat away, one wants to shock the gay out of people and outlaw lunch with women, and the other one put 100,000 black men behind bars. So we have great backup plans for all of this. But all right, anyway, let's go into this. So I went through a lot of this document, and I've even read some articles that have gone through it as well. There's a lot of big name redactions, obviously, and like Clinton's name is redacted. Alan Dershowitz's name is redacted.
So how do you know if it's redacted? How do you know it's like Clinton?
Well, some of these, and again, it kind of falls down to the investigative work of some journalists who are like, he's mentioned here for just an innocuous reason, but then did you meet so-and's blank? Was blank on the blank? And they somehow connect and say, it looks like it's this person.
Right.
Or somebody's listed in it, in some innocuous way. And then when their name comes up again, it's blanked out. So you can kind of so that happens a lot.
Blank is the son of the Queen of England, that kind of thing.
Was President blank on the 20 blank times? So it's like, so there's some stuff like that. But one of the things that's really obvious in the very beginning, and it's a thing that I've seen nobody catch. In the very beginning of it, she says, and I'll actually share the screen so people can see it, because I want people to, so they can read along. It's fun reading. Well, first of all, she's maddening. She is She is so clearly guilty, and she says shit like, "Did you ever hire a masseuse that was under the age of 18? I don't hire a masseuse. That was not my job. You just said that you did." Like, she just contradicts herself. She does that all the time. But she does the thing the guilty people do of, did you go cheat? on me Friday night.
I'm just looking at this sentence. When I said higher, I didn't mean higher in the way you're using it.
Dude, the whole thing is like this. There's hundreds of pages of this. I didn't mean the way higher that you were doing it. What I say is that I went to spas, and this is talking about how it's mainly about Virginia Roberts because she was hired as a masseuse and she was underage. That's what this woman who's the lawyer for Virginia Roberts is a pit bull. She just keeps going, and Maxwell gets pissed off. She's so arrogant, and just like, that question's over. And the lawyer goes, "No, you're under a legal deposition. I'm going to answer the question. If you refuse to answer, we're going to have to come back here at a later date." Like, it's pretty. She has such scathing privilege. It's nauseating. But she says all this time. I went to spas and I met people, and if they did home visits, Jeffrey would hire them, and in fact hire them. I'm not responsible for hiring someone. But then she says that she had, like, she would give them money. Like, but I would, so you hire them.
This is like Bill Clinton. It depends on what the meaning of is.
Dude, it is exactly that. It's the same creepy liar thing. It's like, did you go there and have sex with that woman Friday night? What do you define by night? Like,
what do you mean by sex? He came in her eye. Does that count as sexual relations?
Dude, that's in here in the 50s. She says, well, first of all, here's this. I mean, there's just pages of all these redactions in here, but I want to go to page 50. She says, and this Mr. This is
Should I worry about you, Graham? Is this your bedtime reading? Are you like, do you fall asleep to this?
It's all I do is I just read this. I wake up in the morning and I have tea and I think, oh, the world's run by pedophiles. It's this thing. Did you ever pay an individual? Did you ever hand an individual cash for work you performed? Can you be more specific about what you're asking me? What is vague about that?
She's like, do what by hand cash? Do you mean Venmo? Because
what does that do you mean? And what does cash mean?
Yeah,
like handing cash.
What is cash? Is it just pieces of paper we give meaning that don't actually have meaning? What is cash?
After Nixon took us off the gold standard, they really don't mean anything. So I don't even know what you're saying. Like, just like fucking nonsense liar shit. Did you ever hand any individual who was working at home cash as payment for something that they performed at the home? To the best of my recollection, like, she finally kind of, and I left cash for the pool guy. I would have potentially left some cash for the gardener, potentially for an exercise. And
I left cash for the pool guy. By the way, the pool guy was actually a girl, and by guy I mean 14-year-old girl, and by pool guy I mean she fucked him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all this, and she says, I didn't have those jobs. I didn't do that act. It's like, so now it gets into the thing of like, they got paid between $100 and $200. This is what the masseuses got. Did it vary based on what sexual acts they performed? No, it varied depending on how much time they spent. Then this question, did the massage therapists that were hired to come to the home perform sexual acts for Jeffrey Epstein? What are you asking me?
What? How can you not know?
I'm asking if the massage, are you asking about underage girls? Yeah, absolutely. I am asking that. Are you asking me if they were paid for sexual acts? I'm asking, listen, this is my favorite thing. Did any of the massage therapists who were at the home perform sexual acts for Epstein? I don't know what you mean by sexual acts.
Wow.
Right? Like, did you shoot this person with a gun? What do you mean by shoot?
Now, he fired the bullet, but the bullet entered the other guy's head by its own volition.
The bullet was acting in its own accordance with its own thinking. I don't know. I mean, and when you say fired, you mean like I stopped hiring the bullet? Is that what
you mean? I stopped holding the bullet within my gun and I released it out into the world. What it did at that point is not up to me.
The bullet was just on its own.
So let me get this straight. Anything I once held that is now out in the world is somehow, I once held my cousin. Does that mean everything he does from now on is my fault?
Can you define cousin? What do you mean by cousin?
This is amazing, dude.
The whole thing is her just dodging like this. But so it's she gets pestered. But the thing I really want to go to is
what? Oh, okay.
The very beginning here, and this is like the thing that nobody seemed to, and I want to, in the very beginning, when they're just doing the sort of perfunctory, we're here at this date, April 22nd, at the Avenue, this is where we're at, here's who's in thing, who's here, Ghislaine Maxwell called as a witness, I'm going to explain what's going to happen. This is all the just early stuff, right? There's a court reporter, right? Is there anything that would prevent you from giving truthful testimony? No, everything's good. This one right here. Can you please state your address for the record? Currently blank. Okay, that seems fair enough to be redacted. Date of birth. I don't know why that should be blanked. When did you first recruit? And then her lawyer steps in and says no. But this thing, just nobody caught this. Right here about the address. So this is in 2016, right? So Epstein had been arrested the first time in 2009. That's when he got the sweetheart deal with Acosta.
Right.
And that's when we learned about like Nadia Markova, who was trafficked at age like 15 and then became one of Epstein's recruiters. That's when the first stuff about Virginia Roberts started to come out. That's when names like Dershowitz and Clinton and Trump all started to come out. It was quickly squashed, right? So this is already after that. And Virginia Roberts first filed this civil suit in 2011. And Maxwell's lawyers pushed it off and pushed it off and pushed it off. So when this finally happened, it was like, they're starting to get cornered. I would like to clarify the address. I'm in the process of selling the house. So while I've still received mail there, it's not my actual physical address. Oh, okay. That's a fair thing to say. It's in the process of being sold. It still requires some final paperwork to be done. So just for the purposes of clarity, do you have a new address where you'll be living? I do not. That right there said to me that Maxwell knew it was starting to come down. And she said, I don't have a forwarding address. Can you tell me a rich person that doesn't have an address somewhere,
right,
give if they're selling one of their houses? They can't list they can't list, well, actually just list the house in Vale or the south of France or this asshole's yacht. She said, I do not. And that's when she started to slowly disappear. That's when we started to see less and less of her. That's when too, in 2017-ish, she got rid of her maybe it was 2018.
She had that fucking, environmental foundation or something?
Yeah, a Save the Ocean Foundation. And one of the things in that foundation that she scrubbed from the internet, but of course the internet never forgets, is we're helping young people, young women in ages, 13 to 15 get empowered about saving the ocean. So it was like, you used your foundation to snatch up girls in addition to the modeling scam that you did with Les Wexner, who Maria Farmer, who was an Epstein victim, said Les Wexner was the head of the snake in North America. And that's the thing. She knew she was going on the run. That's why she was selling and liquidating stuff. And Maria Farmer said Epstein was middle management, right? And Les Wexner was the head of the North American snake. And she goes, you have no idea. There's heads in each continent. So,
and this is, the thing about Les Wexner, the fact that he is the head of one of the largest companies in America that everyone knows, Victoria's Secret, is it's like he was out in the fucking broad daylight about, this is barely a secret. He's fucking filming commercials with 15-year-old girls in underwear.
Yeah. And it's such a great recruiting tool. Hey, 14-year-old girl, do you want to be a Victoria's Secret model when you get older? We'll recruit and train you. Yeah. We'll teach you how to rock the runway. So that's what they do. And especially, you're from a family that doesn't have a lot of money. Well, we'll give your family $50,000 and you can come fly. That's one of the things Epstein laughed about was in France, families he goes, man, everyone's got a price. I'd pay them and they'd send their daughters over with me for model training and he'd laugh about it. And so if Maria Farmer's correct, which I believe that she is, so if Les Wexner is the head of the snake and Epstein kept getting busted, this is what the mob does. when a middle management guy starts getting arrested too much and causing too many problems, they can cover up one trial, but a second one. So that's why Epstein hangs himself with a paper t-shirt. And Maxwell is like aware of this in 2016 and says, I don't have a forwarding address. And she knows she's hoping that the powerful are going to bail her out again. And they're kind of not a little bit.
Well, and it serves two purposes. One is if she were to give an address, now that's a new thing they can that they can grab up as an asset and sell off to give victims money or something. So basically take from her. But also, if she thinks she's going to be assassinated, then giving an address is not a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. It's two things. So there's probably a third thing too. So there's the hiding the assets. So getting everything out of their names. So you can't come seize my assets. And then I don't want the people that I work for, the real powerful people, to come kill me. And third, I don't want to give an access where all my hard drives with all my leverage evidence are stored.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. When she first got arrested over the summer, was, people close to her were like, she has like what's the term? Not a kill switch, but like she has a
kill switch.
Yeah. That's like, if she goes down, this goes out.
Dead man's something,
yeah. Right? Basically a bunch of really like videos and damning evidence of very, very powerful people. So she's like, if something happens to me, this goes out. So you better make sure that I'm safe. And right. I bet you people in power are like, let's push the trial off for a year to give us time to find these hard drives, and then we can kill her. So
right.
That's my government secret on this light reading that I've been doing the last week.
Light reading. Well, I look forward to the pop-up version you were getting ready to make. So
it's like, Graham, why do you meditate and surf and all that? Because when I read about this stuff, I have no faith in the human race. So I need to go out and catch some waves and eat some nice food and go to a farmer's market or something and think,
honestly, that at the end of the day, listen, you riot for part of Tuesday, but the other part, go to a farmer's market, get an apple, like a fresh apple, maybe some wheatgrass.
Yes. And leafy greens and B12, fresh leafy greens are good to fight battle depression. So when you're feeling down about a global sex trafficking ring run by the most powerful people in the world and the collapse of society, have a salad.
Have a salad at the end of the day.
I feel like I should make a song like, in the world collapse, have a salad. You're watching.
When you're reading about people raping children, have a salad.
Have a salad. You feel like you can't stop these awful people, have a salad. Like, it's... So that's where we're at. So that's my government secret, folks. I think. Do you have another one? Or are we good?
I think we're good for this episode. I do have one, but it's timeless. We'll save it for next week. So.
Oh, I love a timeless.
Don't you love that our CIA and our government have assassinated and killed and attacked so many people that I'm like, we'll talk about it next week.
Lee, we could do this show for 100 years and never run out of CIA, NSA, evil shit. Like, we could do this show and never run out. All right. Well, where can people watch and follow you, Lee Camp?
All my stuff's at leecamp.com. That's probably the easiest place to go and learn about it all. I have a TV show called Redacted Tonight. A new episode just came out for tonight. And I have other podcasts, one called Common Censored and one called Moment of Clarity. And do a lot of web videos and everything, but the easiest thing to remember is leecamp.com.
Cool. And if you're out there, if you're listening to this, please positive reviews in iTunes and Spotify. Those help. Give us, thumbs up and share it. The downloads, all those analytics help for government secrets, and share this on your social media to get the word. I
decide whether to walk up to the edge of the roof by the analytics every week. So it's up to you, folks.
It's up to you. If you want Lee to walk off the ledge, then hit the like button. That's all we're asking. You can follow everything I do at GrahamElwood.com. I have my YouTube show, Political Vigilante. I go live 4 or 5 days a week. I'm also on rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. I have a Patreon. A lot of great ways to support what I'm doing, and follow me at Graham Elwood. I'm going to be doing more live Zoom comedy shows with Ron Placone. So check all that out, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, government secrets, end of episode. That's good, right?
I can't believe you don't have more voiceover work.
I know, you think I would. I think just be like a voiceover. I had a voiceover agent for a long time, and I finally booked something, and then I was going to Iraq to do USO shows, and they got mad and fired me because I couldn't do it. That's Hollywood.
I did like one voiceover back when I was like 24 or something.
Nice. I
so I'm huge in the voiceover world.
So let's have one thing.
I'm known as a guy that quit while he quit while he was ahead. He did that one commercial, he blew everyone away, and then he just said, "I'm out."
Well, cool, dude. I'm gonna go live for Political Vigilante Tuesday during the election, probably late in the day. If you got the time and want to come on, I'll text you if you want to do that.
Yeah, text me about it. I'm going. I probably should have said this, but I'm going live stream at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for an hour. So just an hour. YouTube.com/momentofclarity. But yeah, I'd love to join you earlier.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see you on election day, buddy. Get your sporting goods all polished up.
Will do. Later, man.
All right, buddy. Bye. Lee Cap, everybody. Government Secrets, episode 14. Put it in the book. Hello, everybody. Lee let out his own secret. He can be made to say or do anything with the threat of lavender. The name for my subscribers, you're all political vigilantes. That's who you are. So thanks to everybody. Let's go through some super chats. Thanks to everybody over on the Rockfin, Tangerine, Denny, Pamela, right on, Chris, Stacy. If you just missed it, I will drop later today the full hour government secrets, a separate government secrets thing on my YouTube, on Lee's YouTube, and the audio will be available later today or tomorrow on iTunes and Spotify if you want to listen to it. So yeah, let's read the super chats. We have 204 likes right on. Nays Garden again. Boom. Nays, thanks for the big donation, brother. Here's 100 from your fans who are all smiling because they all love you both so much. And this collaboration is amazing. I try to tip Lee, but he always donates my cash to other people. Gotta love him. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Well, he's got a nice steady gig over at Redacted. That's cool. And thanks for the big donations. I say this to anybody. Anytime you do a bigger donation, $20 or more or whatever, it's cool that you can do that because there's a lot of people right now who are struggling financially. And so you're helping pay for people. You're helping keep the show going. You're paying for people who are having a hard time financially. So Nays, thank you so much. And check out Nays' show. If you want to learn anything about cannabis or gardening, he's starting to educate me on gardening, which is really cool. Jimmy Dore Show. What's up, Jimmy? Jimmy might be live now. I don't know what he's doing, but good to see you, brother. Ana Ibarra, buenos tardes. Who are you guys voting for? Writing in Ventura? Still deciding if I want to vote, as I doubt it will even be counted less matter. Love you guys in this. Anna, I wrote in Ventura, and I think it's important to vote because there's all these ballot measures, like in where I live in Los Angeles, that are in California that are really important. You know, especially the state of California one on for like gig workers, specifically Lyft and Uber drivers. That's a really important one. So all those ballot measures are really, really important. So make sure you do vote and get it in there because that local stuff is in some ways more important than the national stuff. So it's important to do that. That's what I'm doing. Nice garden again. Boom. I think my last super chat got bumped. Could you check? I think we got it, dude. I think we got a lot. I think we got them. I can't read them during we just want to get into government secrets. So that's why. Neo is the one. Boom. Shave him for justice. Hello, Graham and Lee. What's your reaction to Glenn's resignation yesterday, as well as the reaction from so-called journalists who were slagging him? Yeah, I talked about that yesterday, and I think I just dropped a video on my channel. I dropped 2 to 3 videos a week, and I played the interview that Glenn did on Tucker Carlson. It just shows you the bullshit of censorship. I mean, God, we forgot to even bring that up during the whole election debate, or not debate, but discussion that Lee and I were having. It's Glenn Greenwald is a real journalist, man. He's amazing, and the fact that he's getting smeared because he's being and he's getting censored on his own platform, The Intercept, that he started because they didn't like him being critical of Biden 6 days before an election, just shows how much bullshit it is. So I support Glenn all the way. Nace Garden again, boom, making Gotham great again. Nace, look at those vegan guns. The end game is self-preservation. Why do you think both Pelosi and Obama live on vineyards and farmable land? They know for sure. Oh yeah. No, the ruling elites are all on their yachts and private islands and out in the vineyards with security teams and everything. It's insane. I learned yesterday that drive-through voting is offered in Texas, maybe elsewhere. Good idea. Could be. Nice garden again. Boom. Both you and Lee now own copies of Jack Heron's book on cannabis, The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Favorite chapter, boys. Oh, let me get that book. Here's the book. Just got it in the mail. Haven't started reading it yet, but I will. The most talked about underground book of the last decade has been transformed into a guidebook for the future. Nice. If all fossil fuels and their derivatives, as well as trees for paper and construction, were banned in order to save the planet, reverse the greenhouse effect, and stop deforestation, then there is only one known annually renewable thing: cannabis. Yeah, cool. I will check this out. Haven't read it yet. The Original Hemp Bible. The Emperor Wears No Clothes by Jack Herer. #1 best-selling hemp book of all time. Read it. Check it out. Boom. Thanks for sending me that. Nays Garden again. Boom. Atlee, do you tweeze or stash, bro? If so, is it painful to the point tears in from your piercing eyes? That's funny. That's funny. Kush is all you need. Gavin McClay. Gavin, what's up? Shave your knuckles for justice. Should the media have regulations for declaring a winner? Remember Florida 2000? Should they be able to make projections based on 20% of results, 50% more? No, I mean, after 2000, they started making predictions less and less until they had more votes counted, until the polls were completely closed. So that's kind of what they did. But again, like what Lee was saying, sorry, hold on. So one of the things Lee was saying was, like, because there's only that one company that does the exit polls, it's still bullshit. Yeah, they should have to wait. I agree with you, Gavin. They should have to wait, but we have such a corrupt system on so many levels. It's like, it's insane. But we're going to have kind of like a Florida situation, I fear. Annabelle Corley, what's up, Annabelle? Staying safe. She just had a birthday. What does it mean to write in a candidate? Okay, that's a great question for somebody that doesn't live in America. So on the ballot, I'll show you mine. So this is like a sample ballot I printed online just to show you guys. So you can, these are all these ballot measures and president and vice president. So there's candidates on the actual ballot: Trump, Biden, the Peace and Freedom Party, the Green Party, Howie Hawkins. And then you can write in, there's a list of approved write-in candidates. So you can literally write in, I wrote in Jesse Ventura and Cynthia McKinney. That's what write-in means. But a lot of states don't even allow write-in candidates, or you have to have an approved write-in. So it's a way to block real populism from happening. It's more bullshit. I wrote in Joe Biden. Smart. That's great. Full moon here tonight. Is there going to be another Trumpanzee rally in front of Beverly Hills sign tomorrow like there was last weekend? German in Venice had good coverage of that. Oh, wow. Probably. Vote for shadow government. Writing in Bernie, Biden being chosen was a joke. I swear everything is rigged. Yeah. Tonight and tomorrow, my vote research days. I haven't started. No worries. Jimmy's live talking to Aaron Matei, but Government Secrets is my fave, so I'm here. Oh, right on. Good. He's talking to Aaron Matei. That's cool. Yeah, that's all right, folks. Well, that was I'll sing a song and let you all go over to Jimmy if you want. Because this will be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This will be 6 days in a row that I've gone live. I'm going to take a break tomorrow. I might do Sunday. I'm on the fence, but I might give myself a full 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday. Because Tuesday is going to be, I'll definitely be live Monday night for Rockfin for sure. And I'll be live most of the day and into the night Tuesday, and definitely live again Wednesday. And we'll kind of see how the week plays out. If it's still up in the air, I might go live all week. I don't know. I'm not really going to go out in the streets, man, because I did that before. And I had a guy come at me. I had to punch somebody, smashed my bike. I had to get into this whole thing with this dude. So I'm not going into that. Sunday is your favorite live stream. I do understand that Sunday's great for everybody, but I have done 6 days this week. So we'll see. If I really want to Sunday, I will. But I might take it off. That's the way that is. Does that mean that some of the live is on Rockman because I didn't see you on YouTube 6 days in a row? Yes. So here's what I do with the live stream. Melissa's asking a great question. Here's what I do with the live stream. Like today, as soon as it's done, I pull it off of YouTube and I put it on Patreon. If you're a $10, you get it, the $10, the video, if you're a $10 supporter on Patreon. If you're a $5 supporter on the $5 bonus audio level on Patreon, you get the audio of this live stream. And then if you're a Rockfin premium member, you get all the live streams. So I don't leave them up in the archive anymore. Because YouTube's messing with me so much, I got to figure out another way to monetize these. Plus, that's what Jimmy does, and he talked to me about it. It's a good platform, and it encourages people to come to the live stream. And then if they can't, it encourages people to, watch. So all the archive live streams are up on Rockfin and Patreon at the $10 level. You wrote in Graham Elwood. That's so great. I'd love to be your president. Vote Howie Hawkins. That's a lot of people are doing that. I get that. Green Party. Self-care. I see them out too. Coal rolling like city boys. Yeah. Sundays. Yeah. Yeah. Pasta was on the chat last night, which was cool. I Want to Sex You Up by Two Live Crew as Granny Petrol. At least everything but Bitcoin. I don't know. Chowing on some vegan pesto right now, watching Graham talk politics. Good stuff. Awesome. I've never heard of write-ins in literally any other country. I know. Graham, crypto is crashing. Thoughts on buying it once it gets cheap enough? Yeah, absolutely do that. That's a smart play. That's what I'm going to do. I'm waiting. Well, Bitcoin is still at 13,575. That's doing pretty well. Ethereum is at 382. Yeah, Ethereum last week peaked at about 420 and it's come down since then. It's gone as low in the last week as 373. Its peak was almost 420. So that's what you do. Like I sold a little bit of Ethereum, and then when it gets lower than that, so yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin goes below 13,000 again, I'd buy it. And I get some Bitcoin. Yeah, I bought Bitcoin, some of it when it was at 10,000, when it was 11,000. If it goes under 13,000 again, I might buy it. If it really crashes hard, like when the last time the stock market, all the markets crashed was in March when the shutdown happened, and Bitcoin was at about 9,000 and it dropped down to like 3,800. And as we talked with Christy earlier in the week, I don't think it'll drop that much, but let's say it's trading about 13,000 and the markets crash, Bitcoin will probably drop to 7,000 or 8,000. If it does that, me personally, I'm going to buy in more because, owning a full Bitcoin is important now because when the price goes through the roof in the next couple of years, I've heard some financial experts say it's going to be worth 500,000 a coin, $1 million a coin. Then you'll never, only the really rich will be able to own a full coin. So yeah, if it drops, I'm going to buy back in. That's what I would do. Yeah, it just went up to 590. Yeah, I'm at Coinbase right now. Yeah, Ethereum is at 383. Yeah. Bitcoin's at 15,580. Ethereum's 383. Litecoin is 55. Bitcoin Cash is 261. Those are some of the big ones. Bitcoin's up 1.2%. Yeah. Ethereum's down 1%. Yeah, that's what's that. Maria Abramovich is a real threat. Yeah, she's evil. I don't want to have to keep an eye on how much my currency is worth, like you do with crypto. Sounds like another stock market the oligarchs can manipulate on their own. Well, no, because it's blockchain and all the transactions are transparent. That's what the blockchain is. And can people kind of influence it? Sure, some, but there's a million different currencies. They can't, because it's decentralized. Again, do more research. Go watch more of the videos about what it is. Bitcoin is a delusion. Bitcoin is not Wall Street hype. Bitcoin Cash. There's Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, Wall Street needs to be shut down. Bitcoin isn't tied to Wall Street. Pasta is probably why Madonna adopted so many children along with Angelina Jolie. There are videos of her talking about the satanic she was a part of on YouTube. Really? Jesus. I don't know anything about that. It's crazy. North American Ape, what's up? Shave your knuckles for justice. Does Klein really think we'll buy this BS that Glenn left due to money? Oh, Jesus. Yes, he sold out to big Substack, LOL. It's like selling out to big rock fan. I know. It's the people that are smearing Glenn Greenwald. He's so legitimate, so genuine. He's been on the right side of everything. But when he goes against the war machine and the intelligence apparatus, then he gets smeared. And the intelligence apparatus has all of these like paid mouthpieces in the mainstream media that say this kind of crap. So, if I save some of my U.S. money to a Canadian credit union, checking with interest or CD, is it going to be worth more? Could be. I don't know. That's a great question. Graham, check out BlockFi. They are soon offering their first cryptocurrency credit card, and they have good API rates. Oh, wow. Yeah. And I just found out Coinbase, which is the exchange I use. So Coinbase is different than a wallet. Like I have an Ethereum wallet and a Trezor wallet. Coinbase is an exchange, so it's tied to my bank account. So I've bought crypto using American money out of my bank account. And when I've sold some, it goes back into my account. But if you don't own the keys on that platform, then you don't technically own it. So they say don't leave your money on the exchanges too long. They're announcing that they're getting a debit card, a Visa debit card to be tied to your Coinbase account. And another one, crypto.com, which is another exchange. I'm just researching now. Yeah. And again, that's what I'm learning about. The only difference between Dems and Republicans is Dem use Vaseline. And the Vaseline has a rainbow flag on it. Sam Dean cannot super chat? That sucks. Yeah, a lot of people are owning gold too. If you are going to own gold, what I understand, don't get gold certificates because a lot of people got scammed in 2008. Own physical gold and put it in a safe. I don't own any gold yet, but I'm hearing people say that. Graham, you need to self-care. Take the entire weekend off. You're going to need all your energy for next week. Yeah, I know. What if there's a solar flare and all electronics fail? We're overdue for that one. If that happens, then the show's done. Like if there's an electromagnetic pulse, then and all electronics are done. Like then no currency is worth anything. Say agents are ruining the left on YouTube, even this live chat. Yeah, I've been unsubscribed. My subscriber number is low. All right. And then so many times in the last couple of weeks, I've heard people say, oh, I can't super chat. It's not letting me super chat. They're blocking me from making money. So fucking frustrating. So frustrating. This show. So frustrating. I'll check Venmo at Graham-Elwood if you want to ask me any more questions. If you're not getting through in the super chat, you can also send me money on Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, or Ethereum. All right. I think I'm going to sing I Like Big Butts and I Cannot Lie as Granny Petrol. I feel like singing that song. Bitcoin's up to 13,643.
Oh my.
The reason to get into crypto is to get out of the central banks. I'm voting third party. Yes, so am I. How much would Trump's gold toilet be worth? Let's keep up the great work, Graham. More so on your amazing food security videos. Right on. Marco. Live shows break the shutdown and your joy is socializing. Yeah, I know. I only vote Antifa. All right, here we go. Let me get the granny outfit. Hello, Granny Petrol. Greta. I have a song for you, Greta. This is what happens, Greta. When you don't have fun in a coal mine, you don't get to enjoy stuff like this.
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt. It is so big. She looks like one of those rap guys' girlfriends, but you know, who understands those rap guys?
Wait a minute. Well. Oh, let's start that again. Hello, Granny Petrol here to sing you a lullaby.
My God, Becky, look at her butt.
Mm.
It is so big. She looks like one of those rap guys' girlfriends, but you know, who understands those rap guys? They only talk to her because she looks like a total prostitute, okay? I mean, her butt, it's just so big.
Like a coal mine.
It's just so round. It's like out there. I mean, gross. Look, she's just so black.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a girl walks in with an itty-bitty waist around a thing in your face, you get sprung. Want to pull up tough, because you notice that butt was stuffed deep in the jeans she's wearing. I'm hooked and I can't stop staring. Oh, baby, I want to get with you and take your picture. My homeboys tried to warn me, but with that butt, you got me so horny. Rumple smooth skin, you want to get in my Benz? Well, use me. I'm not your average groupie. I see him dancing. To hell with romancing, Greta. She's sweat, wet, got it going like a turbo vet. I'm tired of magazines saying flat butts are the thing. Take the average black man, ask him, she's got to pack much back. So fellas, yeah, have your girlfriend got the butt? And shake it, shake that healthy butt. Baby got back, Greta. Little in the middle, but you got much back, Greta. Like a pipeline. Like a big pipeline. I like them round and big, and when I'm throwing a gig, I just can't help myself. I'm acting like an animal. Now there's my scandal. I want to get you home and double up. Oh. Ain't talking about Playboy. The silicone parts are made for toys. I want them real thick and juicy, Greta. So find that juicy double. Mix-a-lot's in trouble, begging for a piece of that bubble. So I'm looking at rock videos, knock-kneed bimbos, walking like hoes. You can have them bimbos, Greta. I'll keep my women like Flojo. Word to the thick soul sisters, I want to get with you. I won't because it hit you, but I got to be straight when I say I want to till the break of dawn. Baby got it going on. A lot of pimps won't like this song because them punks like to hit it and quit it. But I'd rather stay and play because I'm long and I'm strong and I'm down to get the friction on like an oil derrick. Yeah! Just pumping out nature's oil. Yeah! Turn around, stick it out. Even the white boys got to shout. Well, Greta, yeah, baby. When it comes to females, Cosmo ain't got nothing to do with my selection. 36, 24, 36. Oh, Greta, only if she's 5'3". Your girlfriend Rosa Honda plays workout tapes by Fonda. but Fonda ain't got a motor in the back of her Honda. My Anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. You can do side bends or sit-ups, but please don't lose that butt. Some brothers want to play that hard role and tell you that the butt ain't gold. So they toss it and they leave it, and I pull up quick to retrieve it. So Cosmo says you're fat? Well, I ain't down with that. Because your waist is small and your curves are kicking? I'm thinking about sticking to the beanpole dames and the magazines. You ain't missing. Give me a sister. I can't resist her. Red beans and rice don't miss her. Some knucklehead tried to diss because his girls are on my list. He had game, but he chose to hit him, and I pulled up quick to get with him. So, ladies, if your buff is round and you want a triple X throwdown, dial 900s for Mix-a-Lot. Kick them nasty thoughts. That's what we do with the Friends of Science. We kick the nasty thoughts of truth. Or you can hang around with skinny girls that eat kale and swim in smoothie lakes. That's not what we do. Little in the middle, but you got much back. Little in the middle, Greta, but you've got much back. But Greta, little in the middle, but you got much back. Little in the middle, but you got much back. Well, that's our song for today. Granny Petrol. Peace out, everyone. Baby got back. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for today. A great show. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Support us at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. All my videos are on Rockfin that are on YouTube are also on Rockfin, and they're all ad-free. It's free to sign up to Rockfin. If you want to do the premium membership, it's $10 a month. You get only the karaoke videos are only at Rockfin Premium. All the karaoke videos, that one I just did, you can go back and watch all of them. Hours and hours of fun. Not to mention all the live streams are at my Rockfin Premium. Government secrets are at my Rockfin Premium. All that. Thank you for supporting the show. We had over 254 likes. Outstanding. Thanks to everybody who did the super chat. Of course, and thanks you to everybody over at Rockfin and on Facebook Live. Thanks everybody over there. You can support me at Venmo. Kate's putting this up there. Graham-Elwood. And of course, I have a PayPal button. If you go to grahamelwood.com, a lot of great ways to support the show. The audio podcast is available. You can get it early on Patreon and Rockfin at the premium level, or you can listen to it for free on iTunes and Spotify. So all those are great ways to support the show. I like Big Coal and I cannot lie. You oligarchs can't deny. Thank you, Melissa H. That's fantastic. And Kate, happy Halloween. Have a great weekend, everybody. I don't know if I'll go live Sunday, but I definitely will go live Monday. Might go Monday afternoon, but definitely Monday night is the Rockfin Premium. That's at 8:00 Pacific time. And then Tuesday, I'll probably be going live during the day with Convo Couch. I'll be going live on my channel. And then at 9:00 Pacific time, I will be on Crosstalk for probably a half hour, 45 minutes, and might come on back after that. Don't forget, daylight savings time is this Sunday. Thank you all so much. Shave your knuckles for justice. You're all making Gotham great again. You're political vigilantes. You're all political vigilantes. Follow the truth. Follow the money. Connect the dots. That's what'll make Gotham great again, everybody. Set your clock backs. One of these days, Graham might be put in YouTube jail. Yeah, I know. I'm going to start signing. My videos are also going to be on Odyssey probably by next week. Thank you so much. Thank you to Kate, our moderator. Right on, Kate. Shave your knuckles for justice. Have a great Halloween weekend. Stay safe. And we'll see you on the next live stream.